All right, good afternoon. Sorry about that. My headphones were connecting and then disconnecting and kind of all over the place. All right, welcome. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Maybe got a chance to get outside a little bit. All right, let's go get going. We're gonna start in a seat. Okay, so any comfortable seat is fine. So sitting up nice and tall. If you want to sit on a block or something to kind of elevate those hips a little bit, that's fine. Closing down those eyes, relaxing those shoulders down and back. And just breathing in and out through the nose. Just to kind of release any stress, any tension you might be holding on to from this morning. Maybe it was a little bit of a hectic day, hectic morning. Just take another breath. Okay, now we'll go ahead and twist it over to that right side. So that left hand comes across that knee. So really tall on that inhale. Exhale, look over that shoulder, find a little deeper twist. We'll come back to center and then go over to that other side, sitting up tall. Exhale, twist. Bring it back to center. Let's reach those arms up. Lower that right hand down, left arm reaches up. Big side stretch. And bring it back up. Let's go to the other side. Right arm reaches up and over as we stretch over to that left side. Good. Bring it back up. Interlace those fingers behind the back. So we'll pull those knuckles down first, and those hands will come away from the hips. So this is a little bit too aggressive, bringing the hands away. The hands can just stay right at the hips, or the fingertips can come down to the ground too. And just pull those shoulders back. And now go ahead and relax and release those hands, extending those legs out, flexing those feet. We'll reach those arms up. Nice flat back. You can even bend into those knees a little bit. So think we're bringing the lowest part of the belly to the highest part of the thighs first, and then we're folding from there. So you can grab onto those calves, ankles, maybe those toes. Nice flat back. And then exhale, fold. Good. Bring it back up. Let's hug that right knee into the chest. Plant that right hand behind the back. Let's go and give that knee a hug. Or you can reach that arm up, hook that elbow across. Just a little bit more intense of a twist if that's what you want. One more breath. And then from here, we're going to unwind. Just drop that knee open, or drop that knee down towards the ground. Reach the arms up. We'll twist towards that left leg, and then reach that right arm across that shin. Again, find that flat back, bending into that left knee as much as you need to as we fold. Good. Let's bring it back up, and we'll twist it over to that right side. Look over that shoulder, sit nice and tall. Good, we'll bring it back to center. Let's switch sides. So extend that right leg out straight. Left knee pulls into the chest. Twisting first. So looking at that right elbow across that knee, left hand plants the base of the tailbone, sitting up tall. Then look over that shoulder as we twist. Think about getting the longest, tallest spine you can. And bring it back to center. Drop that knee down, flips to the inner thigh. So really tall. And then we'll twist. Bringing that hand across that shin. Nice flat back on that inhale. And exhale, fold. Bring it back up as we twist. So bringing that Right hand across that left knee. Sit up a little taller and twist. Hold it there for another breath. Center. Extending those legs out. Now from here, we're gonna do a little bit of core. So we're gonna reach those arms forward. A little rounding through the spine. So kind of reach through the toes. And then we're gonna roll it down onto the back. So try and go really slow with this. Try and hit each individual vertebrae as we roll our way down. Reach those arms up overhead. As we do so, try not to let that low back arch. Keep pressing that low back down. Big reach through those fingers. And then we'll reach those arms up. Again, reverse it. So we're gonna roll it back up. Reaching for those toes. Roll it back down. Let's do one more. Big reach, core tight. Pull, spine is pulling down. And then we'll roll it back up. Reaching for those toes. And then roll it back down. Really slow and control. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big reach, arms overhead, full body stretch. And now let's bend those knees. Okay, plant the feet down. And let's do hip bridges first. So we're gonna press that low back into the mat, grip those toes. Okay, we're gonna lift those hips up first. So just that tailbone and the hips are lifting. Start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So that core stays nice and tight. That tailbone is scooping up. And slowly roll it back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Press into those feet, bridge those hips up. And roll it back down. Last time, press into those feet, roll those hips up. Roll it back down. And now we'll cross that right ankle over that left thigh. So flexing that foot as we grab onto that hamstring, or maybe you can reach for that shin. Keep that tailbone grounding down as we hug that knee in a little bit closer. Then let's lower that foot down. Tee out the arms. Keep the ankle crossed over, dropping those knees over to that right side. Bring it back up. Switching sides, cross that left ankle over. Hug that knee and grab onto that hamstring. Maybe you grab onto that shin. Lower that foot down. Drop the knees over to that left side. Right shoulder stays down. And then bring that the knees back up. Go and rock it forward and back. And you can cross over those shins, or maybe even planting those feet down. Come up, woo, into a forward fold. So just making your way into that position. So a little stretch, a little more stretch through those hamstrings. So once you're there, let's bring those hands to the shins. Flatten out that back. And then exhale, we'll slide those hands down as we fold. Just let that head hang. And then bend into those knees, flatten out that back, come up to standing, reach the arms up, slide that right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. Bring it back up to the other side. Bring those arms back up. Draw the elbows down. Interlace those fingers behind the back. Open up that chest. And release those arms up. Exhale. Again, find that forward fold. We'll bend into those knees, come up to standing. Let's go and reach it up tall. Bring those hands to heart center. Or actually, let's come to the hips. If you need to have help with balance, go ahead and find a wall or something next to you. Okay, all that weight is going to be on that right foot. Draw that left knee up, flex that foot, keeping that core nice and tight, standing really tall, strong through this standing leg. Take another breath. Now, we're going to take a step back. Back ankle or back heel is going to lower down. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a really super long stance. We want to have that back heel grounded down. Holding that right hip back, left hip pulls forward, core stays tight, reaching those arms up overhead. Staying with that breath. Now draw those elbows down, interlace the fingers, again, open up through that chest, and then we're gonna fold. So you can hover that chest, rib cage to your thigh, shoulder can come to that knee. Then release, bring it back up. Really press into that back heel. Find that nice stretch all along that left calf. Now from here, hands will come to heart center. We're gonna put all the weight into that right foot as we drive that knee back up to the chest and cross that ankle over, sink that hip back down. So we're gonna come into that seated figure four, that seated pigeon. Another breath. Go ahead and rise back up, switch sides. Let's lower that left foot down, hands on the hips. Right knee pulls up to the chest. Keep that core tight, really strong through that left standing leg, gripping those toes, balls of the feet, heel into the mat. And pulling that knee up a little bit higher. One more breath. And then we'll take that big step back, coming into that warrior one. Square those hips off. So back heel is down, toes are turned out just a few degrees. Core stays tight. Let's reach those arms up, bend into that front knee a little bit more. And draw those elbows down. Interlace that the fingers, open up through that chest, and then start to fold. So you can hover that chest, rib cage to the inner thigh, shoulder comes down to that knee, maybe. And if it's not happening, don't force it. Listening to your body. And we'll release those arms. Bring it back up. Square those hips off. And we'll bring those hands to heart center. So here we go. All the way to that left foot. Drive that. Not happening. Drive that right knee to the chest. Maybe it'll take you a couple times, like me. Cross that ankle over. Sink those hips back. Nice flat back as we fold. So chest just hovers over the shins, flexing that foot. One more breath. Go ahead and release it. Lower both feet down. Arms will reach up. Exhale, fold. Flat back on that inhale. And exhale, fold again. Just let it hang here for a moment. And go ahead and rise on up. And let's take a big step open. Okay, toes will turn out. Now for me, again, hands are on the hips. So we're gonna do some a little bit wider stance squat. So knees are pressing out, chest is staying up. We're gonna sink those hips down, press the knees out. Bring it back up. Sink those hips down. Bring it back up. Let's go 3 more of those. Hips down, knees are pressing out. Bring it back up and down. Back up. Last one. Sink those hips down. Hold it here. Good core tight, chest up. Breathe. Keep pressing those knees out. Go 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Okay, now the toes, turn the toes in a little bit more. They're not quite parallel to each other, but they're not as wide out. And we're gonna lunge over to that right knee. I guess if you're mirroring me, it would be your left knee. Either way, just make sure we do both sides. And bring it back to center, staying really, really low. Then we'll lunge over to the other side. Good, we'll stay low, bring it over. And then switch. One more time, each way. Over, center, and over. Back to center. Turn those feet parallel to each other. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Rise on up. And go ahead and step those feet together. Arms will reach up. Reach down, touch the toes. Find the flat back. With that flat back, try and slide those hands down a little bit further. Get a little bit more intense stretch through those hamstrings. Good, then plant those hands down. Let's step those feet back to a plank. Good, lower down, point those toes. Roll the shoulders down and back, lift it up. And maybe you press up a little higher. And then exhale, send those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Yes, you can pedal those feet out, stretch out through those calves a little bit. And now, some more core work here. So we're gonna come high onto those toes, rounding through that low back. We're gonna shift that weight forward. So kind of round it forward to a plank. So now you'll flatten out the back. Shoulders will be right over those wrists. Neck is nice long. Reaching through that crown of the head. Squeezing those legs together. Pulling the hands back, pulling the toes towards the hands. Then reverse it. Round that upper back. Roll it back. Press those heels down. Nice flat spine. Then we'll come onto the toes. Rounding that spine. Roll it forward to our plank. Then round it back. Let's do one more. Forward and back. So roll it up. So get light on those toes. Really using that core into that plank. Hold it here. And roll it on back into that down dog. Let's do a little quad stretch to finish this off. So you're gonna step that right foot to that right thumb. Back knee will lower down. So we can just stay pressing those hips forward. So maybe you feel, so if you, this part of the front part of that left leg, it's where you want to feel that stretch. You might feel it up through that hip flexor. Okay, and keeping that nice flat back. Now we can twist, reaching that right arm up. Maybe you start to bend into that back knee. Maybe you reach for that foot. Keeping that back, that chest open, that core stays tight. One more breath. Now, if grabbing onto the foot's a little bit much, you can always just have that knee bent and just reach for it. One more breath. And release it. Let's just lift that back knee up off the ground. Hold it here in this lunge. Really flexing that left thigh. That left quad in particular, kind of pulling that knee away from the ground. And then let's switch sides. Okay, we'll step that right foot forward. Lower that back knee down. Hips will press forward. Then we can start to twist, reaching that left arm up. Maybe bend that back knee. Maybe you're able to reach for that foot. So pressing the hips forward, keep that chest rotating open. Another breath. And then we'll release that foot. So lower the toes down, Just lift that back knee up, both hands down on the ground. You can even be on the fingertips if that feels a little bit more accessible. So really strong through this quad muscle here. One more breath. And then we'll step both of those feet back into that inverted V, that down dog. Another breath here. Slight bend into those knees. We're gonna walk those hands back to our feet, adding in final twist. So bend those knees, flatten out that back. We're gonna bend into that right knee a little bit more, twisting, left arm reaches up. And lower it down, fold. Re-lengthen, bend into that left knee, right arm reaches up. Lower that hand down. Let's do it one more time on each side. Bend into that right knee, left arm reaches up. And down, switch. Left knee bends, right arm reaches up. Lower both hands down, flat back as we come all the way up to standing. Let's finish off with a side bend. So lowering that right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. And back up to the other side. Bring it back up. Both arms will reach up, press those hips forward, draw those elbows down. We're gonna interlace those fingers behind the back, open up through that chest. And go ahead and release those arms. Just bring them down by the sides. Okay, closing down those eyes. Roll those shoulders down and back. Those palms will face forward. Take a big breath in. So even think you can kind of shrug your shoulders up by the ears. Big, big breath in. And then as we exhale, really relax those shoulders down. Let those feet feel really grounded into the mat. One more time like that. Big breath in. Draw those shoulders up. Big breath in. And exhale it down. Just a few more, just natural breaths on your own. Eyes closed down. Good. Leave those eyes open. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. We do have a power yoga, 45-minute power yoga class tonight at 4:45. So hope to see you all there. But otherwise, have a great day.